games the Rays and Blue Jays will play this season in a kind of a odd scheduling system. The Blue Jays and Rays will play 6 games against each other before the All-Star break, and then they'll play the remaining 13 games after the All-Star break. Blue Jays coming off a doubleheader split in Cleveland against the Indians, and John Gibbons' Blue Jays lost to Laffer in game 2, 13-4 to Cleveland, as Adam Plutko won his first big league start. Take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. Curtis Granderson, top of the order. Josh Donaldson had a big day yesterday. He was 4 for 11 with 2 homers and 2 doubles. He drove in 4 runs, and it was an offensive juggernaut for Solarte and Donaldson yesterday. Over his last 6 games, Manfred Solarte has hit 514 for 28, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and he's the DH here this evening.
And they move him up 1 slot in the 3rd slot now. They will face Andrew Kittredge. 9 games this year for Kittredge. This is just his 3rd start. It's what they call a bullpen day. They don't really have a 5th starter. They had some injuries to Nathan Eovaldi, Brett Honeywell, guys who were supposed to compete for that 5th spot. Didn't happen. They got injured, so they use their bullpen every 5th day. Kittredge is going to throw about 30 pitches tonight, and they'll use 2 or 3 other pitchers to finish this one off. He's faced the Blue Jays 1 time in a relief outing last season, just an inning and 2/3.
Here's the first pitch of the game. It's downstairs for a ball to Curtis Granderson, and we are underway. Granderson did not play in game 2 in the doubleheader yesterday. Swings and drives it to left field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Denard spans. His throw is into second base, but not in time. Granderson starts the game with a hustle double to left field. His 5th double of the season.
Swinging early in the count, and he gets himself a fastball. Away, doesn't try and pull it, just slaps it the other way, and he kept his eye on that left fielder. Watch when he came out of that box, his eye was on that left fielder. He knew it was going to bounce high off the turf, and he's got a scouting report on Span. He says, I can pick up an extra 90 feet, and does so with a leadoff double.
So Josh Donaldson, we mentioned his good day at the plate yesterday. He was the 3rd baseman in game 1 and DH'd in game 2. Overall, he had 2 doubles and 2 homers. Pitch is down and away for ball 1.
You and I were talking to Josh today, and I kind of went up to him and I said, is it that easy to miss so much time as you have? And he said, yeah, it's easy. He was just kidding. Hitting is hard, but this guy makes it look so easy.
Fouls that one off. He had missed 18 games over the span of 23 days and came right back, and looks like he's never missed a beat.
I think one of the reasons why he can make it look so easy is he understands himself, and he understands his swing better than anybody. He was giving some compliments to the people that he worked with down in his rehab time down in Florida, getting him ready physically. But for his swing, he puts a lot of work in, and he understands what works for him.
It's an unusual approach. He's got a lot of moving parts, but when you really break it down, he gets his foot down and his hands are in a perfect launch position right there. And he just found that one straight back.
Timing is so important because there's so many moving parts on his swing, but he does it better than anybody.
Slider down and away. Kittredge making his 3rd start, as Pat mentioned. There aren't many Blue Jays that have at-bats against him. Donaldson is 0 for 1, Morales 0 for 1, Pierce, who's on the DL, and Smoke, who is not here. They're the only Blue Jays that have faced Kittredge in the past. Outside.
Well, what you'll see from Kittredge is basically fastball slider. He was a reliever, like we said. He's just going to throw 30 pitches or so tonight, but it's fastball slider. That's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, Manfred Solarte moves up to the 3rd spot tonight. He waits on deck. Kittredge originally signed as an amateur free agent. He played at University of Washington. He is from Spokane, Washington. He got drafted out of high school, but did not get drafted out of college. Donaldson shoots this one foul down the right side.
Yeah, how about that? You're drafted late, and I mean really late, by the Mariners out of high school. You don't sign, you go to college, then you're not drafted again, but you still sign with the Mariners.
He was drafted in the 45th round in 2008 out of high school. He was traded to the Rays on November 18th, 2016. A couple of players went to Seattle, Taylor Motter and Richie Schaefer. Donaldson takes ball 4, slider missed. So it was quite an interesting day for Yervis Solarte yesterday. In game 1 in the 3rd inning, he was tagging up at second.
And for most people, that would be it for their day. They'd be knocked out of the game. You can see he was dazed just a little bit, but he stayed in there, and what a day he had. This was the grand slam home run to win game number 1. He would go on to have a historic day in Blue Jays history.
8 hits in a doubleheader, the most by one player ever in a doubleheader. He finished up game 1 5 for 6 with 6 RBIs.
Didn't you know he would have that Band-Aid on his lip too after that day he had yesterday?
Yeah, he slammed his face into the dirt. You could see that upper lip swollen, and he's got a Band-Aid on it. And I tell you what, I might wear that the rest of my career after getting 8 hits in one day.
Looks like he's got one on his nose now too. Right under the lip and right over the nose.
You know, I saw him last night when the team checked into the hotel early in the morning, and I said, "How you feeling?" He says, "I'm feeling okay," but he was skinned up, boy. And he took a face plant right in front of third base. It was a rainy day in Cleveland early on, and the ground was very soft, and he came to an abrupt stop and did a face plant.
And looked dazed. And you know, we're like, can he continue to play?
Slider in the dirt, blocked by Wilson Ramos.
But what a gamer. On top of just playing, he put together a fantastic day. Drove in 6 runs in the first game. Came back with a home run and 2 other hits in the second day.
1-2. Gets a piece of it. Donaldson homered in each of the 2 games in the doubleheader, as did Solarte. It's the first time in Blue Jays history that 2 players each homered in each of the doubleheader. It's the first time it's happened in the major league since 1979 when the Brewers did it. Robin Yount and Rob Deere. Swinging a drive deep to right field. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. That ball is going to be caught on the warning track. Tagging it second is Granderson. He'll move to third. Solarte just missed another home run.
Yeah, it didn't have that distinctive sound that you usually hear on the home runs. If he could have pulled it just a little bit more, it would have been 3-0. Watch the reaction from Kittredge. He's like, I hung that slider. Please stay in the ballpark. Thought Granderson did a great job tagging up. His experience told him that that ball was not going to leave the ballpark, and he was at second base, was easily able to advance.
Big 90 feet for Granderson with just 1 out. Donaldson's at first. Now Teoscar Hernandez hitting cleanup here this evening. Boy, Hernandez took a shot at the right side of that infield.
Wouldn't you? I mean, look at that. They've got to hold the runner on at first base. That's Crone. 3 infielders on the left side. You can just take a ball, and he's very adept at hitting the ball the other way. Hernandez, that's a free RBI for me.
Driven into center. That's going to score Granderson. He's tagging at third. Catch made by Johnny Field, and Granderson will score the first run of the ball game for Hernandez. RBI number 11. The Blue Jays have the lead here in the first.
Well, you mentioned that that's a big 90 feet, and it was Granderson reading that ball. A lot of times you see guys out at second base and they're in between. Should I tag up? Should I go halfway? And they don't advance and get to third base with less than 2 outs. As soon as the ball was hit by Solarte, he went right to the base. Tagged up easily without a throw, and now he can score on that long fly ball.
Kevin Pillar, he extended his hit streak with a single in the 9th inning yesterday. There's a strike with the fastball. Pilar, there's the numbers from his 9-game hit streak, hitting over 400 with 10 extra base hits and 7 RBIs.
Well, if the Blue Jays know that he is on a strict pitch count, pitch limit, Kittredge, they're doing a good job of working the count. He is getting close to 20 pitches.
Kevin Cash, the skipper of the Rays. It's just by necessity more than anything. They lost Nathan Eovaldi, and they lost a young pitcher, Brett Honeywell, in spring training to Tommy John surgery. So instead of digging deeper down into their organization, they said, okay, well, we'll just have to patch it up with relievers on that odd day we don't have a starter.
They're going with 8 relievers, and they've got some guys with some length in that bullpen if they need a couple of innings. It's not just full of bullpen guys who throw 1 inning.
They got 3 left-handers and 5 right-handers in their bullpen. A pretty good mix. A ball and 2 strikes on Kevin Pilar. Donaldson walked. He's still at first base. Pilar 8 for 21 on the road trip, batting .381 on this road trip so far. Pat, that's what he has done so well early on this season. He's covering that outside pitch and not trying to pull it.
Yeah, I ran into him today in the clubhouse, and I said, you know, you're swinging the bat as well as we have ever seen you swing it. And I said, are you changing anything? Do you leg kick anything? He goes, no. He says, I just feel more comfortable. I have a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more experience as a hitter, and I don't freak out as much in these types of situations where anything they throw up there with 2 strikes, I'm going to go ahead and swing. He says, I just feel like I'm more confident at the plate now.
Yeah, that's interesting because most hitters, and Kevin's done a good job of hitting with 2 strikes, but most hitters get to 2 strikes and have a sense of tensing up and panicking. Pilar hits it on the ground. Echeverria goes to second. That'll end the inning, but the Blue Jays break out on top. Teoscar Hernandez with a sacrifice fly, but it was all started by Curtis Granderson, leading it off with a double, and he hustles it into second base, moves to third on the fly ball, and scores the first run of the game. The skipper for the San Diego Padres, Cash, signed as an amateur free agent with the Blue Jays. Spent some time, 3 seasons with the Jays in the big leagues. Matt Duffy is healthy and back at third base, batting third in this lineup for the Rays. He's at .310 at home this season with a double and a home run, and he's driven in 8. And how about the catcher? He's got an 11-game hit streak, Wilson Ramos. .444 average, and he's doing major damage with 5 doubles.
And that's the lineup Jay Happ will face tonight for his 7th start. He's been brilliant. 4-1 with a .350 earned run average. He hasn't faced the Rays, though, since September of 2016. Missed him completely last year, but he's been on a roll. 9 strikeouts in his last start. 7 gorgeous innings and 2 earned runs allowed to the Texas Rangers.
Danny Echeverria, the shortstop, fouls it off the catcher's mitt. Hechavarria signed originally with the Blue Jays. He made it to the Blue Jays in 2012, played in 41 games with the Jays, and then he was part of that big trade to the Florida Marlins. Upstairs with a fastball and missed.
Yeah, if you've never watched this guy play the game of baseball, he's pretty special. He's got some pop in his bat, so you got to really be careful with him, but his contributions with the glove.
Ball is drilled in the power alley as Hernandez is on the run. He makes a nice running pitch, a stride onto the warning track. Teoscar getting a little more comfortable in right field with each game. This is the 9th time he's started in right. Outfield, Granderson, Pilar, and Hernandez. Diaz at short, and Gurriel. He was at short last night. He's back at second base tonight.
Boy, he's looked very impressive for the Blue Jays with the bat and with the glove. 11 games at second base, 3 games at shortstop. He looks right at home playing in the major leagues. And his manager had a lot of nice things to say about him today when we were talking to him, and Gibby said he looks right at home.
Somebody that's right at home with his new team is C.J. Cron, a 28-year-old. Cron, formerly of the Los Angeles Angels, in his first season in Tampa Bay, and he's off to a good start. 7 home runs, 19 RBIs for the first baseman. He spent 4 seasons with the Angels. Hit .262 over 400 games with L.A.
Big power. Just didn't come for him out in Los Angeles, but it showed up here in Tampa.
His at-bats were fairly intermittent with the Angels. Most at-bats he had in a season. 2016, he had 407 at-bats. Hit .278 with 16 homers. In fact, he had 16 homers in 3 straight seasons for the Angels, and he takes ball 4 from Happ. Well, we talk about Jay Happ in his previous 2 starts did not walk a batter in 7 innings, and he walks a man here in the first tonight.
Yeah, no walks in the start against Boston, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. No walks in 7 innings against Texas and 9 strikeouts. So he falls behind and he just can't find the strike zone there against CJ.
So Matt Duffy will step in the box. And Duffy has been dealing with significant injuries. He had an Achilles injury that knocked him out of the season, and he's back healthy again, back at third base. Cron is not a base stealing threat. Jay Happ throws a strike to Duffy. Duffy is 27 years old, originally drafted by the Giants out of Long Beach State. His best season was 2015 with San Francisco. Hit .295 with 12 homers and 77 ribbies.
He has taken over at third base for Evan Longoria, who ironically is in San Francisco, where he came from.
Ground ball up the middle. Diaz will flip to Gurriel. Gurriel with that strong arm. What a pretty double play. Diaz and Gurriel, a terrific double play to start the ball game. Gurriel on the bag has that strong arm. Diaz with those good hands. He flips it with his glove. And then Gurriel, he's got a terrific arm. He takes care of it from there. 6-4-3 double play, and Happ's out of the first.
help Pompey deal with the downtimes. Devin Travis, who has had no shortage of his own setbacks. It was Travis who encouraged Pompey, stay in the moment, don't look too far ahead, and definitely to not look back at what was. That's helped Pompey's psyche. And with Steve Pearce down, Dalton's mainly been brought up to give the Blue Jays a right-handed bat. He said he is hitting more consistently from the right-handed side and trying to hit the ball in front more, guys.
Well, he's got the skills. There's no question about it. We have seen that firsthand what he can do on a baseball field. And he's got speed. He's a good defender, switch hitter. He really fits into the mold of the way this team has been put together this year.
He can do multiple things for this team, even though he's not starting. He can come in as a defensive replacement. He can pinch hit if he wants to. He can pinch run if he needs to.
Bouncing ball up the middle, too hot for the shortstop. Actually, that's Robertson on the second base side. He's the second baseman as Echeverria was over into the hole. Boy, Curtis Granderson, he doesn't waste a moment during the course of a game. He had some words for Pompey about paying attention to something on the field.
Well, he's not sitting down anymore. He's up and moving around.
One out for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Gurriel Jr. led off in game 2 of that doubleheader. He went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Blue Jays scored 4 runs on 8 hits in game 2. Gurriel had a good game batting 9th in game 1. He had a 3-hit game. He was 3 for 5 in the opener. He drove in a run in the 7th.
You know, and the scouting report will get out on him very quickly. He can handle the fastball. Kittredge goes slider. This is the first time they have faced each other, but they know that he can turn around a fastball. Tell you, give this kid a little bit more time in the big leagues, getting to know the teams and the players and the pitching staff. He's going to be good. That's why I think Kendrys Morales is very important. He's been in this league a long time, and you always see the two of them together talking.
Breaking ball caught the outside corner for strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Kittredge. Let's check out the defense. The Rays have played very well in the field. They've committed just 13 errors this season. Spanfield and Gomez in the outfield, and at third base, Matt Duffy back at his former position with the Giants.
After 10 years in Tampa Bay, Evan Longoria is now in San Francisco. 10 years, the face of this franchise. It's really weird to watch this team play without Evan Longoria at third base. So Matt Duffy will take over. He was a great player for this team.
Franchise player for sure. Ground ball. That's going to get by the first baseman, C.J. Crone, and Luke Maile has a base hit to the opposite field. They were playing Maile to pull, and he crossed up the shift to get the base hit with 2 outs.
Yeah, you can laugh because that's a great hit. Cutter right off the plate. He hits it off the end of the bat, and because they're in the shift, no chance for Crone to run that one down. Another instance where overshifting cost the defense.
Diaz shoots one down the right field line. This is trouble if it's fair, but it's a foul ball. Maile was all the way to third base. Diaz going the other way. And Maile off on the crack of the bat with 2 outs. Had a full head of steam.
Slicing. You can see from that replay it was close. That's a good sign to see Diaz go the other way. Because of this. Another big hole. Tampa really overshifts on just about everybody.
Of course, that started back in the Joe Madden era here in Tampa Bay. He was the one that really took it most aggressively, I think, and on a consistent basis where he would shift his defense. Breaking ball fouled up. Echeverria is at shortstop. He's really in the hole now as he is playing to pull. Echeverria, of course, from Cuba, as is Diaz. Quite a Cuban reunion here with the Blue Jays having their 3 Cuban players, and Echeverria, who started his career with the Blue Jays, also from Cuba. Pulled on the ground. Duffy at third. He'll go to second, and that will end the inning. Luke Maile gets a 2-out single. He is stranded. Go to the bottom of the second. Blue Jays have an early 1-0 lead.
My Blue Jays homepage, and the code must be entered by 4 a.m.
Lots of Blue Jay fans here in attendance, as is the case always, as Curtis Granderson has been taken out of this ball game. Remember, we had a shot of Granderson talking to Dalton Pompey after he scored in the first inning. Pompey now takes over in left field. This is the first big league appearance for Dalton Pompey since October 1st, 2016. He did not get to the big leagues at all last year because of an assortment of injuries. He's in left field now. No word yet as to why Granderson is out of the game. He had a hustle double, tagged at second, went to third, tagged at third, and scored the only run of this game.
He had a message for Dalton when he was sitting there, and he got up and started getting loose. Maybe he gave him a heads up like, hey, something happened so far. I'm going to be leaving this ball game. Get ready. You're probably going to be called on.
Big swing by Wilson Ramos, the catcher. Ramos has a terrific 11-game hit streak going. He's batting .442 over that hit streak with 5 doubles, 4 home runs, and 12 ribbies.
Tremendous power. Got to keep that ball away from his power. That pitch right there from Jay Happ, I think, tells you everything you need to know about what he's been doing this year. For some reason, hitters just haven't been able to pick up his fastball. It gets on him very quickly, and he's been using it very effectively.
Fastball down and away, and had good movement. You mentioned it in the open how Happ has really taken it to the next level because of his fastball command. In the strike zone, he can throw a strike just about anywhere he wants to in that strike zone.
Wherever or whenever. And it's not just down, it can go up too if he needs to. That ball's fouled out of play. And he's aggressive with it, which is something that we didn't see from Jay when he first came over here from Philadelphia. And for me, I think it all goes back to his mechanics. I think he understands his body much better. He's in control of his body, and his mechanics are so much better. He's on line. Everything is going towards home plate. And when he has the experience now, when he is a little bit off or a little bit out, he knows what he needs to do to get back. I was talking to him a couple of starts ago, and he said, you know, I was getting on the side of the ball. He says, I got to really concentrate on keeping my hand on top of the ball and behind it. What that'll do is make my fastball a little bit more true, and I can throw it where I need to.
Bouncing ball. Diaz coming in. He's got time with the catcher running, and they throw him out. So Jay Happ is on quite a roll, and the Blue Jays have won all 5 of his last starts. He personally is 4-0, and the ERA is impressive. Opponents not hitting 200 against him, and the whip under 1. That's always a great sign.
That's great because you're not dealing with a lot of traffic on the bases then when it's under 1. The walks and the hits per innings pitch. Keep that under 1, and you're going to be pitching out of the windup a lot, what you want to do. Those starts, Texas, Boston, Kansas City, and at Baltimore over his last 4.
There's a dramatic difference between a pitcher's control and his command. And I think it's an interesting conversation. For me, you have control if you can throw strikes. You have command if you can throw quality strikes.
Yeah, command when you can throw the ball where you want to in the strike zone. You can command the fastball. Hey, I want this one down and away, or I want this one up and in. That's the difference between control and command.
Daniel Robertson, the second baseman. Robertson making his 12th start at second. Robertson is now just 24 years old. He was a first-round pick of the Oakland A's in 2012. He came here in a trade that included Yunel Escobar and Ben Zobrist going to Oakland. And he and John Jaso Bugpao came here.
I think he's asking about the count, if that is correct at 2-2.
Right at the knees, and that's where Happ has command.
Yeah, down.
It's not just a strike, it's a quality strike.
Well, the count obviously was 3-1. It was not 2-2. It is now 3-2. Scoreboard was wrong.
Oh, what a terrific pitch by Happ. He came back and strikes out Robertson. First strikeout of the game. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
Left fielder, number 2, Denard Sam.
Yeah, that was interesting news out of New York. The Mets had wanted to send Matt Harvey to the minor leagues, see if he couldn't get sorted out. He declined to accept the assignment, and he became a free agent. He has been designated for assignment. Not a free agent yet. They have 10 days to make a move with his contract. This is Denard Span. Span is a native of Tampa Bay. He's now 34 years old. Span, too, was a first-round pick of the Twins back in 2002. Went to Tampa Catholic High School. He came up with the Twins, 5 seasons with Minnesota, 3 with the Nationals, and his last 2 with the Giants. Breaking ball, Gurriel with the backhand. What a nice play. He made it look easy. A good inning for Jay Happ. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead as we head to the 3rd. Started this ball game with a hustle double.
Yeah, hustled out of the box, keeping his eye on that outfielder, and stretches that single into a double. He then read the ball beautifully off the bat of Solarte, tags up, goes to third base, gets there with less than 2 outs, and then scores on that fly ball. The game's only run, and then was out of the game.
He went into the dugout and he spoke to Dalton Pompey on the dugout, and he must have given Dalton a heads up. Hey, I did something, and whatever it was, Pompey started to loosen up, started to move around a little bit, and now he's going to get his first at bat since 2016.
This is what we were talking about. He was just sitting there watching the game, and he goes, "Hey, kid, I think something happened here. I want you to go get loose. I might be out." It looked like he might have put his hand by his hamstring, like he might have tenderized that just a little bit.
So Granderson gave Dalton the heads up, and Pompey will get in at bat. This is Ryan Yarbrough, his 8th appearance as the starter. Andrew Kittredge pitched 2 innings and he trails 1-0.
Another former draft pick of the Seattle Mariners. Yarbrough will take over here. Again, it's a bullpen day. He can give you multiple innings. He was a starter down in the minor leagues, so he's stretched out.
Popped out of play. Pompey had a wrist injury right at the end of the spring training. Once he was activated, he played 4 games in Dunedin, then he went to AAA Buffalo and played 10 games with the Bisons, hit .244, had a homer and 5 RBIs. He was also 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts. Chopped foul outside of third.
Blue Jays have a few switch hitters now on their roster. Solarte is a switch hitter. Morales is a switch hitter. Urania, who was just called up today, and Pompey, both switch hitters.
It's like having 3 extra players on your bench because they can both hit from both sides of the plate. Pompey gets a base hit into left center. So Dalton Pompey gets a base hit in his first at bat of the season in the big leagues.
In what, 2 years, did you say?
Not since 2016, and he got into 13 games in the minors last year, but he stays on that ball.
Yeah, it was a changeup down and away. Got good plate coverage on that one. Was able to reach out and knock it into the outfield. Good start for the Jays again. Got some speed on the bases.
Pompey, as I mentioned, 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts. Josh Donaldson, for me, this is exactly what the Blue Jays need, top of that order. A base stealing threat ahead of Josh Donaldson. So you split the attention of the pitcher. Now he's got to worry about a stolen base with the home run hitter at the plate.
Maybe that buys a few more fastballs too. There are catchers, believe it or not, when there's a speedy guy at first base, that all he puts down is the number 1 because he's afraid he's going to steal on him.
Wants that good pitch to throw. Ball and a strike to Donaldson, and Pompey will get back ahead of the Yarbrough throw.
Tampa Bay is doing an interesting thing, the way they are holding the runner on at first base. Not your traditional first baseman right on the bag. He's off of it just a little bit, and he'll read what Yarbrough wants to do if he goes home or goes over to first.
Donaldson takes one down the stairs. 2-1 to Josh. You know, I remember the first time I saw a first baseman do that. I think it was Keith Hernandez with the Mets. He would play off the bag, especially with that left-handed pitcher. And it becomes a problem for the base runner just to get a bearing as to how far off the base he is. Two and two now to Donaldson. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Teoscar Hernandez with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. We have seen the importance of Donaldson already. He's played 2 games since coming off the disabled list. He's hit 2 doubles and 2 home runs.
Also walked in the first inning. When you put an experienced hitter like this and an MVP, past MVP in your lineup, it just makes it longer and deeper, stronger. Everybody that moves down one slot, and pretty soon you've got a pretty good offense.
2-2 to Donaldson. Now it's a full count. And we've talked about it. We talked about it at length yesterday, but it's absolutely amazing how Donaldson can lay off those borderline pitches and be so confident that they're going to be balls.
Just a good hitter. 3-2 now. If you are running over at first base, make sure he goes home.
Pompey with the lead. There he goes. Donaldson swings back to the pitcher, and the Blue Jays will stay out of the double play. By starting the runner, they avoid the double play. Yarbrough knocked it down and goes to first. You throw out Donaldson.
He might have been better off just letting that ball go. Now, I know your first reaction is to try and catch it, but watch the second baseman. He's going to cover on that steal attempt, and he would have been right there to catch and at least get that lead runner. The Blue Jays catch a break when he bobbles the ball.
Pompey now at second for the number 3 hitter, Yanneris Solarte. He goes after the first pitch and pops it up. C.J. Cron, the first baseman, makes the catch. 2 away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
Right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez.
For Harper, home run numbers 11 and 12. He now has 28 RBIs. Ryan Harper hitting .272, but doing some major damage.
Is he back in the leadoff spot? I hope. I mean, they've been scoring a lot of runs since Davey Martinez moved him up there.
Yes, he is hitting leadoff. Turner second, and then Matt Adams is in left field batting third. Here is Hernandez. He is the only RBI of the game. He had a sac fly in the first. Pulled on the ground. Echeverria at short. Strong arm, and the inning is over. Kyle Yarborough has an inning under his belt. He gives up a base hit and nothing more.
Go with MLB.tv. The subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. By the way, guys, with Pompey, originally from Mississauga, who also played in Brampton, he is the 8th Canadian on an active big league roster in 2018.
Yeah, the improvement of minor baseball in Canada has helped so much, and you heard Jamie Campbell talk about Nick Pivetta also pitching tonight. Carlos Gomez goes after the first pitch. The right fielder hits a high fly ball as Hernandez comes in from right to make the catch. One pitch, one out for Jay Happ here in the third.
There's young Canadian baseball players all over the country. I mean, you and I have spent some time out west at some of the banquets and seeing some of those kids out there. They do a fantastic job of developing kids nowadays. Keep it going.
Yeah, it's been terrific. The development that the junior national team provides, the opportunities for so many kids to play. Russell Martin has had a lot to do with the popularity of baseball across Canada with his terrific career. I think the back-to-back World Series championships in '92 and '93 really created an awful lot of interest in baseball. But then when you see Russell Martin come up and play and John Axford come up and play, and makes all these kids want to participate in baseball, and now we're seeing more and more of them come to the big leagues. This is Rob Refsnyder.
I think it kick-started that generation of great young players. You know, the Larry Walkers of that era, the Justin Morneaus were kids when the Blue Jays were really, really good in the 90s. But it's neat, people like Russell Martin, they embrace that, and they want to pass on the legacy of the great players that have come through Canada to the young kids nowadays.
Refsnyder takes a strike. It's 2-2. Refsnyder spent some time with the Blue Jays. This is his 4th year in the big leagues. Last year he spent time between New York and Toronto. Pretty close pitch missed outside. Refsnyder was a draft pick of the Yankees, 5th-round pick in 2012 out of University of Arizona. Drives this one into center. Pilar, almost in his tracks, makes the catch. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of Major League Baseball. We're in St. Petersburg, Tropicana Field. This is the first game of the season between the Blue Jays and the Rays. They will play 19 games over the course of the season. They'll play most of their games in the second half as they meet just 6 times before the All-Star break this year. This is Johnny Field, who is playing in center field. Their regular center fielder is on the disabled list, Kevin Kiermaier. Middle of April, he had surgery on a thumb ligament, but the fill-ins have done a good job playing in center field for him.
I was going to say, what a different look that the Tampa Bay Rays are this year than the last time we saw them. No Longoria, no Logan Morrison, no Steven Souza out in right field. I mean, the list goes on and on. No Kiermaier in center.
A lot of new faces here, and the interesting thing is they're second in batting average to the Boston Red Sox. This ball has got a chance to go. It's up and gone. Johnny Field with a home run, his second of the season, and he has tied it up at 1-1. Number 9 hitter comes through. We had mentioned that the Rays as a team batting .262, second only to the Red Sox. And they've hit very well against lefty pitching, a .279 batting average against lefties.
Yeah, and Jay Happ's been awesome on the road, a 150 earned run average on the road, and they get that with one swing. They wanted to go down and in, and he actually hit the glove. He also hit the bat of Johnny Field with the home run.
Danny Echeverria swings at the first pitch. Another look at the home run.
Down and in, and as a hitter, all you got to do is just quicken your pace up just a little bit, shorten up that swing, and try and catch it out in front.
Fly ball to right. Right at the edge of the warning track. Hernandez makes the catch. The inning is over, but Johnny Field with his second home run of the season. He hits it with 2 outs, a line drive into the seats in left, and we are tied at 1.
Coach to go over tendencies of the starter and bullpen arms, looking for any tell, a knee buckle, a shoulder turn, and the timing of pickoff moves. Leeper said any type of read you get and tendencies from counts and delivery helps. The Blue Jays are manufacturing more runs this season than the last couple of years, and as Pilar said, there are many more ways to score from second base, and stealing a bag is just one of them, Buck.
Well, they have more athletes on their roster now, and they can do a lot more things. We've seen that play out. They've used the hit and run. They've gone first to third very well. Kevin Pilar with the stolen base, another weapon that he can utilize.
That's where I see the biggest improvement, the base running, going from first to third. Sometimes you can run into outs. We saw that in Cleveland yesterday, but When you can go first to third, think about what it does to the guy coming up when you can get to third base with less than 2 outs. The guy's giving you a standing ovation because he's like, hey, that's a free RBI.
That happened in the first inning when Granderson doubled, advanced to third, and scored on the sac fly. And you know, as a hitter, it's much easier as a hitter at the plate with a runner at third than it is at second.
Absolutely, and that's what I mean. That's your, like, you know, standing ovation. That way to get there, because I'm going to get this guy in for my team here. You made my job a lot easier by getting to third base with less than 2 out.
Way outside. Another thing that has really played out because of the increased team speed, Blue Jays have only grounded into 14 double plays this year. That's the fewest in the American League. Pilar hits it on one hop to Robertson, the second baseman. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
First baseman, Henry Suarez.
Well, Batista joining the Braves today, and he's joining a first place team. The Braves are 19-11. They have a game-and-a-half lead over the Mets. Atlanta's won 5 in a row, and he's off to a good start with a double in his first at bat.
Did you say the first place Atlanta Braves?
Absolutely.
Wow.
The first place Atlanta Braves with 3 of the youngest players in the majors. Mike Soroka from Calgary has made his first big league start for the Braves.
And more to come. John Hart and his group did a great job of restocking that farm system, trading away all their veterans, going for the total rebuild. That was a few years ago.
The changeup as Morales strikes out. 2 quick outs for Yarbrough here in the 4th.
Yarbrough was called from AAA Durham on Tuesday. This is his second stint with the team. That's his best pitch right there. You can see the changeup grip. He last pitched Saturday in Boston. He got his first career win at Fenway Park last Saturday.
He's one of 3 left-handers that Rays are carrying in their bullpen. Ground ball. Gurriel bounces it to third. Duffy makes a quick throw to first, and it's a quick inning for Yarbrough. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-1 game here in St. Pete. Morales. This is significant because they're all Cuban-born infielders, and it's the first time since 1968 when the Cincinnati Reds started 3 Cuban-born infielders, Chico Ruiz, Leo Cardenas, and Tony Perez, that there have been 3 starters in an infield that have all come from Cuba. Pretty good moment and a very proud moment for these three Cuban-born infielders.
And they are. Remember when Diaz was asking us, has there ever been two Cubans in the middle of the diamond for the Blue Jays? And now you got three. First time since 1968. What is that, 50 years ago?
That's unbelievable.
That's
and
great.
Congratulations to them. They're very close, and they're very good. Henry Morales has been a mentor for Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and of course Gurriel comes from a great baseball family. This is C.J. Cron. He goes after that cutter on the outside. Cron walked in the first inning. And then he was erased on a double play off the bat of Matt Duffy. Cron is now 28 years old. He is from Fullerton, California, and well, he grew up in the Orange County area and ended up starting his big league career with the Angels. He had his first big league home run off of Jay Happ at Rogers Center back in 2014. Takes one inside. He hit his second big league home run in the same series off Steve Delabar a couple of days later.
He's
got a lot of power.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power. I think that's why you got to pitch him up. Jay can go upstairs if he wants to. Beat him with that fastball. Up and away. He has a tendency to go and chase those pitches.
Everything is kind of across the middle. He hasn't been able to elevate just yet. He missed upstairs and walks Cron for a second time.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
We are on the Gulf Coast of Florida. The sun's beginning to set here. Friday night, the Blue Jays will have a night game on Saturday and a day game on Sunday, and then head back home to entertain the Seattle Mariners on Tuesday after the off day Monday. Matt Duffy hit into that 6-4-3 double play that ended the bottom of the first.
And if you missed it, it was pretty. It was one of the best double plays you're going to want to see. Diaz with a flip over to Gurriel with a strong throw.
Fouled out of play. Let's take a look at that double play.
Well, we talked about it, and there it is. How about that in one motion and then flat-footed guns it over to first base to get Duffy. That ended the first inning. Teoscar Hernandez also had a nice play in that first inning, running down a ball in right field. Blue Jays flashing some leather tonight.
Have missed the inside corner. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cron at first with the leadoff walk. Ground ball up the middle again. And that's going to sneak through for a base hit. Both Diaz and Gurriel went for the baseball. And it just split the two infielders, and neither one of them got a glove on it. And Duffy has a base hit.
I think there was some miscommunication there because they both went after it. That's where shortstop can take control right there and say, I got it. You get to the bag. See if we can do it. Watch both of them go after this. This is really Diaz's ball, I think, because it's on the shortstop side. He's coming over across. It's a little bit easier play for the shortstop.
Yeah, if Gurriel covers the bag, I think Diaz at least is going to get it out at first. He might not get 2.
Hey, you never know with his arm, though.
He says Ramos, Wilson Ramos, the catcher.
Gurriel has got such a strong arm. You never know.
1-1 game. Happ walked Crone and gives up a single to Duffy. Wilson Ramos enjoying an 11-game hit streak, grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. Breaking ball in the dirt. Generally, when the Blue Jays come down here to play the Rays in Florida, you see a lot of good pitching and not much offense. Last year they hit a lot of home runs, but they struck out an awful lot. This year they're hitting for average, and their hitting approach is much different.
Yeah, much different. They're using the whole field. They had a boatload of strikeouts last year, the Rays.
Upstairs, way too high.
Jay can fade that changeup now, I think, with a little bit more regularity than we saw a few years ago. And this is a great time to use it right here against the right-hander. It's a fastball count. Take a little something off right here. Maybe he can upset his timing and get a ground ball and get 2.
Foul back. This has been a tough place for the Blue Jays to play. We talked about the dominance of the Rays in their starting pitching. Since 2010, Blue Jays have won just 29 games and lost 47. They have not pitched well in this ballpark, while the Rays have outpitched them dramatically with a .318 average. And they have hit just 1 more home run than the Rays here at Tropicana Field. Full countdown, nobody out. And this is the difference in this lineup we talked about last year. They had so many strikeouts. They were just a team that would go up there and wail away. And you could just put together a game plan. They had 1,538 strikeouts last year. Ground ball. Pass Gurriel into right. That's going to score Crone. Hernandez cuts it off, and they're going to stop Duffy at third. And Ramos extends his hit streak to 12 straight, and the Rays have a 2-1 lead. Another good example of how the offensive approach is different from this lineup than we've seen in past years.
Yeah, he was an out last year with the approach that he had, but this year with 2 strikes, he's able to punch the ball the other way. Choking up just a little bit, shortening up your swing with 2 strikes. Ramos, watch this. That's a short swing, and just shooting it the other way, and you're going to be rewarded with a base hit and an RBI.
Still nobody out as Ramos hits that high fastball. It was probably off the plate away, but because he was thinking about going the other way with 2 strikes, he's rewarded with an RBI single, and that hit streak now sits at 12 straight games.
They got off to a brutal start, if you will, the Tampa Bay Rays. Through the first 15 games, they are 3-12, but their hitting has come along over the last couple of weeks. As a team, they're hitting over 300 the last 14 games with good swings like we just saw with 2 strikes.
Daniel Robertson called out on strikes his first time up. The only strikeout for Happ to this point. Checks his swing and takes a strike. Remember, we had talked about the 2 previous starts for Happ. He had not walked a batter over 14 innings, had 19 strikeouts.
Flawless. I don't know how he could throw any better.
Came into this game with 50 strikeouts and also had a 12.50 strikeout per 9 inning rate. In on the hands of Robertson.
Needs a strikeout or a pop-up. And if you want either one of those, I think for him it's that elevated fastball. Can he throw it where the batter will swing at it? Yep.
He did. Right on cue. He gets the strikeout. That's a big one. That's the first out of the inning. Second strikeout of the ball game. Both Happ strikes out Robertson twice, and here are the numbers we were talking about. He struck out for 9 innings. James Paxton had a 16 strikeout game his last time out. He's almost 14 strikeouts per 9. Garrett Cole has found new life with the Astros. Max Scherzer, he is just one of the best pitchers in baseball. And there's Jay Happ. He's 4th on that list. He now has 52 strikeouts for the season.
He pitches off his fastball probably better than anybody on the team. Uses the fastball and sets up his breaking ball. And he'll throw a breaking ball, a little cutter, and a changeup every now and then. But it's his fastball, and he's going to use it about 70% of the time.
Denard Span. Ground ball. Shortstop Diaz to Gurriel for 1. Back to first. In the dirt, and Morales couldn't dig it out. So Span is safe at first, and the run comes in from third. Matt Duffy scores.
Yeah, Span can really run, but I thought Gurriel had some problems getting the ball out of his glove. The transfer got a good feed from Diaz, but he just didn't get a good grip on the ball at second base. You can see it right here. See a little bit of a double clutch, and that ends up spiking the ball at first base. This wasn't real clean in the transfer.
Yeah, I don't think he got a real good grip on it, and a second run comes in this inning. Now it's a 3-1 ball game. Tampa Bay leads it. Carlos Gomez, the right fielder, popped out his first time up. For Span, that's his 23rd RBI of the season. He's been a nice addition to this ball club.
You say he's coming home?
Yes, sir.
Came home.
It's his 11th season in the majors. Span's been a good player. He's kind of had the same impact with the Rays that Granderson has had with the Blue Jays. Denard Span led the National League in hits in 2014 while playing with Washington. There he goes. Got a good jump. The throw from Mailey's a good one, right on time. So Luke Mailey is throwing the ball very well. He guns down Denard Span to end the inning. Blue Jays had a chance to turn the double play, couldn't do it. The Rays are going to have a look at the replay as Jay Happ stays on the field. We're not really sure if they're going to have a look at it, but it looked like he was clearly out. And Kevin Cash says, okay, we concede. The inning is over. Time now for Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio.
.10:30 Eastern on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360.
Top of the 5th inning here in Tampa Bay. Luke Mailey made a terrific throw to throw out Denard Span, trying to steal second. Luke's thrown the ball very well this season. Ryan Yarbrough in his third inning of relief. Had a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Has retired 6 in a row after giving up a leadoff base hit to Dalton Pompey in the third.
His best pitch is a changeup. I think his second best feature as a pitcher is he throws a lot of strikes. He's going to be around the plate. Little slider, he'll throw that. Fastball doesn't really blow you away, but he's got some deception to it. He's got some sink to it.
Melee gets a piece of it, but the catcher Ramos holds on the foul tip. One away here in the fifth.
The deception, I think, comes from his release point and how he releases it. It's a short arm action. Like he's throwing darts, firing that ball in there. You can see he's from down under, about 3/4, but it's a quick arm slot and speed. Ball gets on you quick.
Aledmus Diaz hit into a fielder's choice in the second. Yarbrough was originally drafted by the Brewers in 2013, but he didn't sign. He was drafted by Seattle again in 2014 in the 4th round. Signed with the Mariners, and then he was traded here to Tampa Bay January of 2017 in a trade that sent Drew Smyly to the Mariners. Then looper into shallow center field as Johnny Field will get there to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down here in the fifth. That trade took place on January 11, 2017. He came to Tampa Bay with Carlos Vargas and Malix Smith for Drew Smyly. So you get a good arm and a very good outfielder in Malix Smith.
They've done a good job, Tampa Bay, over the years, recognizing talent in other organizations. So when their players become free agents or get close to free agency, they trade them and just start the time all over again. Start the clock ticking again with another young player.
This is Dalton Pompey in his second plate appearance. He did not start the game, but took over defensively for Curtis Granderson. Boy, it's good to see him back and healthy. He has dealt with so many injuries the last couple of years. He injured himself initially in 2017 in the World Baseball Classic, sliding headfirst into second, suffered a concussion. And it took him most of the year to get over that.
That was the scariest one. Talking to him in spring training, says he's had some knee problems in the last couple of years that have really set him back just a little bit. And there's no question he's got talent and he can play at the major league level.
Dalton is 25 years old. He turned 26 in December. He chases that high fastball as Ryan Yarbrough has come out of the bullpen and slammed the door on the Blue Jays hitters. 3 strikeouts.
Justin is on the paternity list, which means he can miss 3 games. Someone asked Kevin Cash today, are you expecting Smoke back on Sunday? And the Rays manager said, Justin should be a really good dad and family man and stay at home 1 extra day. Well, bad news for Tampa skipper Justin Smoke will indeed return to the Blue Jays here on Sunday for the series finale, guys.
Yeah, and Kevin Cash knows that Justin Smoke's a pretty good hitter, and he'd just as soon not see him in this series, but he should be back by Sunday. Carlos Gomez was at the plate when Luke Maile threw out Denard's span to end the bottom of the 4th, so he'll get another look at J. Happ. He popped out on 1 pitch back in the 3rd.
You were talking earlier about the effects that Denard Span has had on this team. Here's another one, a veteran that has come in, Carlos Gomez, who has had a positive effect on these young players.
Gomez is now 32 years old. He's in his 12th season. Came up initially with the Mets. He's played in Minnesota, Milwaukee, Houston, Texas, and now Tampa Bay. He had a walk-off home run on the 22nd of April against Minnesota's Addison Reed. That broke a 6-6 tie. But the significance of that home run was it took him 28.85 seconds to get around the bases. It was one of the most animated home run trots I've ever seen.
He plays with a lot of swagger, and some of the players were talking the last few days about that swagger has rubbed off on the rest of these young players. So he's had a positive effect, not showing up the opposition, just playing the game with a lot of positivity and a lot of swagger, and have a lot of fun at what you're doing.
J. Happ gets his 3rd strikeout, 1 out. Let's go back to Jamie Campbell. CC Sabathia is on the mound for the Yankees. He's thrown 4 innings, has allowed just 2 hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Sabathia has thrown the ball very well.
Yeah.
His ERA at this point, 1.48. Rob Refsnyder makes a cutter on the back door. Refsnyder lined out to Pilar, his only time up. Change up in the dirt. 1-2 now. J. Happ, after not walking a batter in his previous 2 starts, has walked C.J. Cron twice. Last time he walked him in the 4th, Cron came around to score the go-ahead run. And then the Rays would score a 2nd run. And Denard Span reached on a potential double play ball. He beat out the relay. Two pitch. Fouled out of play.
Jay has talked in the past about quickening up his pace, and you can see it now. His last few starts this year, remember he lost his first start of the season, but his last 4 starts he's been quick. Gets the ball, throws it. I think that keeps everybody engaged. It keeps his rhythm going. This inning, he has thrown some really good pitches. Catcher's interference?
Yeah, it must have been, because he fouled the ball off, and that will be an error charge to Luke Maile. The ball was fouled off, but Luke Maile got his glove too far extended out toward the plate, and let's watch the bat of Refsnyder. Maile is set up very close to the hitter. And as he reaches for it, I don't know what happened. It didn't look like he hit his glove. Where does it make contact with
right
the glove?
there? His glove moved. The thumb of his glove looked like it moved a little bit on that one.
That was very interesting, but it will be an error charge to Maile. As Refsnyder's aboard, that's not an at bat for him. Or Maile, that's his first error of the season. Happ comes right back with a cutter on the outside. It's a ball and a strike to Johnny Field. Field homered his first time up, his 2nd home run of the season. He had started the season at AAA, played 4 games at AAA. He's 26 years old. This is his rookie season, first taste of the big leagues.
Hit his first big league home run at Fenway Park. A lot of these young Ray hitters and pitchers getting the first win, first hits, first home run. That home run was his second off of Happ.
Jay has surrendered 7 home runs this season. This is his 7th start. Five of those home runs have been solo home runs. And that's a product of Jay throwing a lot of strikes and not walking a lot of batters and not setting up those multiple run home runs. It'll flare down the right field line. That'll slice foul.
They actually wanted to go down and in here, and he hits his spot. But Field quick on the inner half. Takes that ball out of here. They've made the adjustment already in this at bat. You can see it. I said, okay, he can handle that ball down and in, so let's try and keep everything away. And look at pitch cast. Everything on the outside corner.
2-2 pitch. Another pitch away.
That's the best scouting report, isn't it? When you go out there and you get a feel for what a guy's doing and you throw a ball on the inside part of the plate, he hits it hard. Okay. I know how to pitch him now.
And Danny Echeverria, the shortstop, hitting in the leadoff spot. He's on deck. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Popped up. Gurriel going out. Hernandez coming in. The right fielder calls for it, makes the catch. 2 away.
The Lawn and Garden event is on now until May 15th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Here's how.
It was a beautiful day here in St. Petersburg, and we have moved indoors inside Tropicana Field. We just can't get it right, Pat. We have a beautiful day, and we're playing a dome. We've been outdoors for almost a month now, and it's been nothing but cold weather. This is Danny Echeverria, the shortstop.
Or rainy. Cleveland, goodness. Could have used that dome yesterday.
Echeverria signed with the Blue Jays and started his professional career here in North America in Dunedin in 2010. He had just 193 in Dunedin, but then he was promoted to Double-A New Hampshire. The reason he was promoted, the late Mel Didier went in to look at Echeverria to give him a once-over as a scout and said, where's the Spanish-speaking coach? And they didn't have one. And Echeverria, of course, couldn't speak any English, so Louis Rivera was managing Double-A. They sent him to Louis Rivera, and he took off. He got to Double-A and hit 273 because he had a little bit of a comfort level.
That's got to be awful or awfully tough. Come to a new country, be a young player, and can't communicate with anybody. Blue Jays did the right thing, though. They realized their mistake, sent him to Louis in Double-A, and Louis was a big influence on him, helping him get to the big leagues.
And Danny made his debut in 2012. When he made that debut, Louis Rivera was coaching first base for the Blue Jays. And it was a great moment for Louis to see one of his minor league players make it to the big leagues. Two balls and a strike, 2 outs. Rob Refsnyder is at first base. Pulled on the ground, backhanded by Donaldson. Lots of time, and the inning is over. So the Rays will leave a base runner. We have played 5 here in Tampa Bay, and the Rays have a 3-1 lead. It'll be Donaldson, Solarte, and Hernandez, middle of the order.
Day one off the DL, went with the pair of home runs yesterday in Cleveland. Donaldson told me my pitch recognition is not quite where I want it to be, but it's getting there. He has no real rule of thumb of how long it takes to be comfortable with the field, but it seems the results continue to be there. Donaldson admitted he was happy he went on the DL, and now the program has him ready for this return. An added buck, and I know you'll be surprised to hear this, he said, I have a lot of confidence in myself and what I can achieve.
Yeah, that really surprises me, Arash. I don't think anybody's as confident as Josh Donaldson, but he knows what he can do, and he's already pounded out 5 home runs after missing significant time. I mean, he's a former MVP in the American League. Ground ball. Hechavarria at short will gather and fire. One away.
We forgot to ask him today. We have to ask him tomorrow. Was he asking the umpire who that pitcher was to get his name? Remember that?
Nick Goody.
Yeah. Who's pitching again?
Yeah. It was a first game of the doubleheader, and both teams were wearing 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson's day. It was canceled on the 15th of April, so they played that Jackie Robinson game in game 1 of the doubleheader. So number 42 came out of the bullpen for Cleveland, and Josh Donaldson wasn't sure who it was, so he went and asked the home plate umpire, Mark Carlson. Found out it was Nick Goody.
I just want to get my scouting report down. Well, you got a good scouting report. Hit the first pitch out. That was that first home run that we saw.
And Elvis Solarte is the DH, batting third tonight. Solarte thought that one was off the plate. 2-1 now.
Yarbrough's done a good job keeping the ball away from some of these right-handed hitters and then busting them in like that. And again, his best pitch is his changeup. Gotten his share of ground ball outs and strikeouts. Blue Jays haven't hit a ball in the air since Diaz last inning. Just one over the last 9 batters.
There's one in the air, but not very deep. Carlos Gomez sets up, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Yarbrough working in his 4th inning of relief. Andrew Kittredge started the game, went 2 innings, gave up a run on 2 hits, had a walk and a strikeout. He threw 36 pitches.
23 in the first inning. Got him out of there quickly. That might have been a mistake. Yarbrough's been good.
And last pitch was the 44th pitch that Yarbrough has thrown since coming into the game. Oscar Hernandez has the only RBI for the Blue Jay. That's squibbed off the end of the bat. Another change of Yarbrough will go to first base and step on the bag. This guy is breezing. He's only allowed 1 base runner to reach since he's come into the ball game. for you tomorrow afternoon. It'll all start at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Cleveland will be in New York for Game 2 of their series against the Yankees. Pitching matchup will feature Trevor Bauer for Cleveland, the right-hander Sonny Gray for the Yankees. Bauer is 2-2 with a .245 earned run average. Sonny Gray is 1-2 with a .667 earned run average. And we'll follow them up in the evening as Aaron Sanchez will start for the Blue Jays against Jake Faria. C.J. Cron has walked twice and scored. He scored in the 4th inning after drawing the leadoff walk from him. 2-0. We mentioned the Rays and how they've changed their approach at home plate. They've changed a lot of players. They had some big free swingers, Steven Souza Jr., Logan Morrison, Evan Longoria. They're no longer with the team, and they have made Jay Happ work. Ground ball. Big hop for the shortstop, Diaz. Cron's retired for the first time tonight.
Yeah, there was a time where you could just get the ball close to the plate, they'd be swinging. They tried one year to work the count, and then the next year they tried to swing as often as possible, and then one year they tried to hit as many home runs and said forget about the strikeouts, we're going to hit a lot of home runs. This year they're having better at bats.
Well, and Matt Duffy's one of those new guys. Although he's been in the organization, he hasn't been healthy, so he's playing more regular now. Started the game tonight batting .274. He is 1 for 2. He scored a run. Happ has now thrown 95 pitches. This has not been a particularly good place for Happ to pitch in the past. This is his 8th career start pitching against the Rays here, and he gives up another base hit to Duffy. They better hustle it back in. Duffy with a big turn around first, and he'll scamper back to first base with his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Robbed of a hit his first time up on that great double play to end the 1st inning, singled last time, and now gets a fastball out over the plate. He had thoughts of maybe turning that into 2.
So with that hit, Duffy is on for a 2nd time. Wilson Ramos, the cleanup man, he is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Had a base hit to right field on a fastball up and away in the 4th inning. Goes after the first pitch and skies it into shallow right. Gurriel, playing for the first time in this dome, makes the catch. 2 outs.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
The Blue Jays have added 3 players today, including the right-handed reliever Jake Petrichka. Petrichka has pitched 5 years with the Chicago White Sox. He was with the Blue Jays in spring training. He was coming back from an elbow surgery, and it took him a little while to get up to speed, but he is here with the Blue Jays now, and he's starting to loosen up. Petrichka appeared in 5 games in Buffalo, a total of 8 innings.
He was in spring training very briefly, right at the beginning of spring training, and the Blue Jays sent him out.
He signed with the Blue Jays as a free agent and didn't sign until February 8th. And when they saw him, he wasn't quite as advanced as they thought in his recovery from the elbow surgery, but he is good to go now.
That's why they sent him out early, so he could get his work done and get strong.
3-0 to Daniel Robertson, the second baseman. Robertson has struck out twice against Happ. Happ has 3 strikeouts so far, and he has now thrown exactly 100 pitches. Ball 4. So Robertson walks. That's the third walk issued by Happ in this game. So that'll put runners at first and second with 2 outs. And now Denard Span. Lefty on lefty for Happ. Luke Maley's going to go to the mound.
Got a runner at second base. Got to make a pitch here. Can't give up any more runs. It's getting late. Jay's had trouble getting that little sinker or that two-seam or whatever you want to call it in the strike zone tonight. He keeps kicking at the dirt, like the landing area where that front foot is landing. He's not real happy with it, but I don't know if that is contributing to him for not being able to get that sinker over.
So Denard Span with Duffy at second, Robertson at first. The Rays have a 3-1 lead. Span has done a good job batting against left-handed pitching. He's 6 for 17 coming into this game. He is 0 for 2 so far against Happ. And a good cut at that pitch, up and away.
And nothing wrong with his fastball. It's still pretty good.
He's just been off a little bit with his command tonight.
Yeah.
Not as sharp as we have seen him, but his last 2 starts were nearly perfect.
And it's his two-seamer. His fastball command has been good. His slider/cutter has been good. Yank that one, but it's just that when he goes to his changeup or that two-seamer where he tries to fade that ball to right-handers, he hasn't been able to hit that spot. That has elevated his pitch count.
That bat came out of the hand of Span, and they could caught the home plate umpire fielding Colbreth. He'll get a chance to go back and get some pine tar on that bat handle. See if he can get a better grip. Bottom of the 6th inning, and this is a couple of big runs out there for Happ to save. Blue Jays are already down by 2, and they're looking to get back in this game. Pilar, Morales, and Gurriel will lead off for the Blue Jays in the 7th. So you'd like to see Happ get out of it right here.
Yeah, this might be his last batter, and it's a tough batter too. You saw his numbers with runners in scoring position today, over 400 this season.
He stays on it and rips it foul. And you can see that's why he has been so effective against lefty pitching. He waits and waits and waits to the last moment. He's not jumping out there.
Take it right out of the catcher's glove. Anxious moments for both of them. You can see Pete. He's like, I know what I would do right here. Heat him up.
Fastball off the plate. Now it's a full count. So with 2 outs, the runners from first and second will be off on the pitch. Matt Duffy's at second. Daniel Robertson's at first. Big pitch in the ball game right here for Jay Happ. Denard Span with a full count. There go the runners. Fouled out of play again.
Good job by that fan down there to knock it down. Didn't catch it, but he knocked it down and knocked it right to that fan.
Yeah, the first guy made a leaping stab at it and deflected it. I think he protected some fans. That guy in the gray t-shirt with Rays across the front, he was the one that jumped up and got a glove on it.
He's saying, hey, I need a ball. I should get a ball now for my effort.
Another 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. That'll load the bases, and that might be it for Jay Happ. John Gibbons out of the Blue Jays dugout. He's got Jake Petrichka loose. And Gibbons hasn't made the sign yet. And there it is. He makes the call. So Happ, with 4 walks in this game after having not walked a batter in his previous 2 starts, was just a tick off. The bases are loaded. Carlos Gomez, a right-handed batter, will face Jake Petrichka in his Blue Jays debut. He has walked the bases loaded, and he has turned things over to Jake Petrichka, making his first Blue Jays appearance of the season.
They're just 5 games in AAA as he got himself into shape. He was telling us, hey, I'm okay. I got my arm strength back. Ball feels like it's coming out the way it should. When he first came up with the White Sox, he was a 2nd-round draft pick of the White Sox. He was really bringing a good fastball with some hard sinking action to it.
Carlos Gomez, the right fielder, takes one down and away for ball 1. Gomez is 0 for 2. He's popped out and struck out. Good fastball, but inside. There's a strike.
Right at the bottom of the strike zone. Keep that ball down there. You're going to be fine. Blue Jays signed Jake late. It was the beginning of February this year. It's taken him a while to get his arm strength back to where he needs to.
That slider off the plate. 3-1 now. Petrichka was shut down in September with elbow problems. He underwent surgery to move his nerve in his elbow. There's a good fastball there and gets a foul. Fly ball, not deep. Pompey coming in, still coming in. He'll get there, and Petrichka strands the bases loaded, saves the runs for Jay Happ, and keeps it a 3-1 ball game. Gomez gets underneath it and is frustrated, slams the bat to the ground, but the Blue Jays have kept it a Going back over his last 22 games, he's got an impressive .345 average.
Yeah, you can look at the numbers and they're all perfect. They're glittering. They just jump out at you. When you ask him, hey, what's going on? He says, I'm in a good place right now. And you know what he's doing? He's hitting the ball with authority the other way when it's pitched the other way.
Stayed on that pitch, but fouls it out of play.
He got robbed of a hit yesterday in Cleveland where he drove the ball right to the wall to right field. He was robbed of it by Tyler Naquin, but it just shows you that he's got power the other way. He's hitting the ball the other way with authority.
Brian Yarbrough came into the game in relief in the third inning. He gave up a single to Dalton Pompey, and he has since retired 12 in a row. Sergio Romo, the veteran reliever, starting to loosen up for the Rays. Fielding Cobrith rings up Pilar on that inside fastball. That'll be 4 strikeouts for Yarbrough. Jay Happ goes 5 2/3 here this evening, and he gives up 3 runs. A little bit off with the command. He had 4 walks.
Yeah, highest pitch count. He wanted to get him through that inning. You can tell he'd like to get him to finish off that inning, walk off with his team, and give him a chance to win the game if the Blue Jays could come back. But he just hit his pitch count limit.
Morales lifts it high in the air down the right side in foul territory near the bullpen. Gomez got to it and put a glove on it with a terrific sliding effort. We were looking at C.J. Cron and Daniel Robertson, the infielders, but Gomez came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's got great speed and never say die type of attitude. He was going to come there and try and make the catch, and he actually got there. Ball wasn't hit that high by Morales, but look how far he's going to come and how determined he is to get there. And he was there, and he's upset with himself that he couldn't come up with it.
0-2 to Morales. He took a shot at that inside pitch, same pitch that Pilar was called out on.
Watch the reaction at the end of this play. It's on his glove or on his chest. It's like, man, I should have had that one.
Oh, he got to it. Little cutter is fouled up. Brian Yarbrough has retired the last 13 batters to come to the plate. He gave up a single to Dalton Pompey, the first batter he faced when he entered the game. Nothing since. Blue Jays haven't had a base runner. Driven into right. This is an easier play for Gomez. He makes the catch. 2 outs.
Change-ups away to the righty. He'll bust that fastball in a little bit. Cutter. Told you he's going to be around the plate. No walks. Done a pretty good job. Just 53 pitches.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is 0 for 2. That changeup has been very effective for him.
It's an above average changeup. When you start grading him out, if you're a scout, he grades out as a 60, which is above average.
And there he uses that fastball. It's 89 miles an hour, but because all the Blue Jays have seen that changeup so often, they're late on that fastball.
And he's not afraid to throw inside to these right-handers. This time, Gurriel hits it right off his toe. I think they're having problems picking up the baseball. Just the way he throws it. It's quick. He's got a quick arm swing and just slings it up there.
Another very tentative swing. You're right. I don't think they're picking it up right out of his hand. Yarbrough went to high school in Winter Haven, Florida, over in the middle of the state. Then he went to Old Dominion in Norfolk, Virginia. Line to Hechevarria at short. Gurriel put a good swing on it. The Yarborough has put up nothing but zeros since he's come into the game.
TD Canada. There's an exciting list of packages available for bid, with all proceeds supporting Jays Care's Unstoppable Kids across Canada. Bidding opens during Blue Jays Central on May 9th. Now, in the first inning, we saw Curtis Granderson score for the Blue Jays, took himself out of the game. Granderson experienced right hamstring tightness. That's from the Blue Jays. He was removed immediately as a precaution, Buck.
Yeah, we could see that when he went over to Dalton Pompey that he was concerned about something. We weren't sure what it was, but he is out of the ball game and hopefully getting attended to. Brad Miller comes on to pinch hit for Robert Refsnyder in the DH spot. Refsnyder finished up 0 for 1. He had a second plate appearance, but the catcher, Luke Maley, was called for catcher's interference. Maley's charged with an error. It is not a at-bat for Refsnyder. On the ground, Gurriel makes a nice stop, throws it to first. What a play. Gurriel showing great range at second, went into the outfield. Got a good angle on the ball, and Morales helped him out, making a nice play at first.
And I think he bounced that ball over to Morales on purpose. They moved him over into that hole to take away hit. Miller is a pull hitter, pulls it to his left. And watch when he throws. I think he throws that on purpose, bounces it to him, just to make sure he picks him up, fires it over there, and finishes it off. We had shots of him in Cleveland, you know, when the ball, when they swung at it, how he would be moving, and that time it helped him to get a great jump on that ground ball.
He has been fun to watch, whether he's playing short or third. This is Johnny Field. He homered off Jay Happ in the third inning, his second big league home run. His other home run also came off of a left-hander, Brian Johnson. He hit that one at Fenway Park on the 28th of April. Jake Petrichka, boy, he did a nice job of leaving the bases loaded in the sixth. He got Carlos Gomez to pop out to shallow left field.
He's got a good fastball. Again, when he first came up, he touched 100 miles an hour early in his career.
That one's up to 95, but missed low. I watched Petrichka in the minor league camp earlier in the spring, and you could see that he was building up the arm strength. He could be an interesting guy for the Blue Jays to add depth to their bullpen. That's lined in the right, and this is trouble. Hernandez plays it on a hop. Here's the throw to second. It's going to be late, as Johnny Fields has his second extra base hit of the ball game. An opposite field double.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King. Available at your local Home Hardware. Here's how.
You know, we were told earlier in watching this team, they go to right field a little bit more, opposite field. Johnny Field's going to do it again. Nice approach as he dumps that ball down the right field line and hustles his way into second base. Got to give yourself a chance to get a hit. I don't think you can sit up there and swing as hard as you can for 3 strikes. You got to give yourself a chance to hit. He did there.
That's just the 5th hit of the game for Tampa Bay. The Blue Jays have but 3. The Rays have a 3-1 lead as they bat in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays running out of time. Danny Echeverria, the shortstop, is over 3. There's a strike. It's 3-1 now. 1 out. Johnny Fields is at second. Tim Mays, the left-hander, starting to crank it up for the Blue Jays. There's a base hit. That's going to score a run. Fields is around third. He's coming home, and Danny Echeverria with his first hit drives in the 4th run for Tampa Bay. RBI number 13 for the Rays shortstop.
They've done a better job this year hitting with runners in scoring position. That ball wasn't hit that hard, and because it was hit softly, they were able to score the run. 1 ball down the right field line, and this time he fights that one off and muscles it into the outfield. He will pick up his 13th RBI of the season.
Johnny Fields scores for the 2nd time tonight. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay. C.J. Cron 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. This is going to be foul into that picnic area down the left side. Excuse me, waiter, I did not order a baseball.
Scattered those fans down there.
Now you got to pay attention no matter where you are. You can see the tables and chairs scattered out. Ball hit right on top of that table. You know, I don't really know if the fans, the casual fans, really understand how hard those baseballs are. I mean, you want to be ducking and dodging, getting out of the way. You don't want to be diving for them, trying to make a catch. Head for cover, folks.
Yeah, don't even get close to it. Got to get the ball on the ground here.
Well, what an emergency hack by Cron.
But that's what we're talking about right there. That's how you foul off and stay alive for another pitch. 2 strikes, flat-footed, just foul it off. If he doesn't do that, he's walking back to the dugout. That's a strikeout.
That ball was almost in Maley's glove when he fouled it off. This time he waves at that slider. Petrichka with his first strikeout of the ball game. Burns retired for a 2nd straight time.
Best time to throw that slider right there. Right after that fastball on the outside corner, you can see he had emergency hack, if you will, on that slider or on the fastball. So you throw the slider and you get that result.
Matt Duffy's had a good night. He's 2 for 3. He has 2 of the 6 Rays hits. A couple of singles to center. That's a fair ball. Down the left field line. Echeverria is headed for third. Pompey plays it off the wall. They will stop the runner at third. As Duffy picks up his third hit of the ball game, his first extra base hit. He's 3 for 4. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Rick Porcello on the mound for the Red Sox. He's allowed just a run on 3 hits and struck out 5 through 4 innings. For Devers, home run number 5. He's driven in 22. J.D. Martinez has also gone deep for Boston.
Rick Porcello's back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's throwing the ball very well.
Yeah. Petrichka has thrown the ball well. He just can't buy a break right there. That ball wasn't hit that hard by Duffy, but they were playing him off the line. He gets in there with that hard sinker. Again, just a 3-hopper through the infield. But because they were playing him off the line, gets down into the corner. He's also had a little soft double to right field, a soft single to left field. They haven't really squared him up.
Echeverria at third, Duffy at second, and Wilson Ramos the catcher. Ramos had an RBI single in the 4th to extend his hit streak to 12 in a row. Blue Jays can't afford to fall any further behind. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay. Ball 2. Good life on that fastball. He was trying to come inside, but it ran all the way up in a wave to Ramos. Swing and a miss. Petrichka's 6'5". Creates a pretty imposing angle to hitters. He's had some good seasons with the White Sox. A career-high 67 appearances in 2014 with an ERA of 2.96. He comes all the way back and strikes out Ramos. Strands a pair. The Rays get an extra run. We'll go to the 8th. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay. Sergio Romo coming on. Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. The Blue Jays scored first. They scored a run on a Teoscar Hernandez sac fly in the first, but it's been all Tampa Bay since. J.H. Petrichka gives up a run in an inning and a third. He gets a big strikeout of Wilson Ramos to end the bottom of the seventh. The veteran Sergio Romo takes over now in this 4-1 Tampa Bay game, his 13th appearance of the season.
He is their setup man. A little sinker slider action for the former closer of the San Francisco Giants. Right-handed hitters have hit 188 against him in his career. He's got a couple of right-handers to lead off the 8th inning here.
Big slider. That has been his trademark pitch. Big sweeping slider. Just 76 miles an hour, and Maley's behind quickly, 0-2. Romo spent 9 years with the Giants. He's now 35 years old. He was a 28th round pick of San Francisco in 2005 out of Mesa Junior College.
Won that closer's job. He was a closer on a World Series championship team with the Giants.
There's that slider, just 76 miles an hour, and it never seems to stop breaking. This keeps going farther and farther away from the right-handed hitters.
Yeah, it starts right at the hitter. Look at that. And then sweeps all the way across to the other side of the plate. You're either going to have to recognize that early and lay off of it, or move up in the box and hit it before it breaks. That is nasty on righties.
Aledmys Diaz swinging a drive. Get up ball. This ball is going to go. Home run for Diaz. A long one to left. Home run number 6 for the Blue Jays shortstop, and that was a no-doubter.
He was swinging when he left the on-deck circle and got the pitch to his liking. He wanted a fastball, got it, and the Blue Jays get that run back that they just gave up.
Diaz homering for a second straight game. Hit a home run in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday in the 8th inning, and that was a shot, his 6th of the season. And now it's a 2-run game. Dalton Pompey 1 for 2 since coming into the game.
He's done this a few times this year. First pitch swinging on fastballs on the inner half, and that's a long ball. That is way gone.
Breaking ball. Romo has thrown 6 pitches and thrown 6 strikes.
Blue Jays continue to hit home runs. That's their 49th home run of the season.
Most in the majors. That slider is effective to lefties as well. Just 74 miles an hour. Second strikeout of the inning for Romo.
Couple of strikeouts, both of them off of that. The one time he's thrown a fastball, it's been knocked out of the ballpark. Look at the spin that he creates on that ball.
2 away for Josh Donaldson. Josh is 0 for 2 with a walk. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond. C.J. Cron, the first baseman, protecting the right side. There's another slider. Nothing but strikes from Romo.
Yeah, why throw anything else if you've got a good one tonight, and he's got a good one? You're throwing it for strikes. Again, he's been tough on righties his whole career.
You mentioned his postseason experience. He pitched 4 years in the postseason with the Giants. A total of 21 games, a 3-1 record with a 309 earned run average. And he has pitched in just about every role out of the bullpen. Donaldson laying off that big sweeping slider. Takes it outside. 3-1. Solarte is on deck.
Okay, he's got to throw a fastball here.
I wouldn't bet on it.
You don't think so?
No. I think he'll trust that slider again.
And what he doesn't want to do is walk him and bring that tying run to the plate. Slider.
Popped it up. Center fielder Johnny Fields coming in. Still coming in. He waits and makes the catch. Sergio Romo gives up a solo home run and nothing more. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 Tampa Bay. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's the best time to find a Honda you'll love.
First game of this 3-game series in Tampa Bay. The Rays have a 4-2 lead. Levinas Diaz has homered in back-to-back games for the 3rd time this season. And Tim Meza will come in to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Meza picked up the win in game 1 in that extra inning game yesterday in Cleveland.
Yeah, he pitched and gave up a hit, but evidently had a 1-2-3 inning. That's when Teoscar Hernandez threw Tyler Nyquin out at second base. Ended up striking out Lindor to end the 10th. Blue Jays would score 4 in the 11th. He got that win.
Daniel Robertson, the second baseman, takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Robertson has struck out twice and walked. All of his at-bats came against Jay Happ, so he's getting another look at a lefty.
I asked Tim as that ball's fouled off Meza, what's the difference between this year and last year for you? He said, you know, last year I thought I could throw fastballs inside by some of these right-handed hitters, but I've realized I need to keep the ball away from him. He's got a good fastball and a good slider. He says I got to stay away from the power zones.
There he throws a good pitch away. You know, Meza, I like his arm. I like his breaking ball. I think his confidence is fine. And just a matter of getting an idea how to get out big league hitters consistently. That'll do it. Down and away for strike 3. It's a tough pitch to hit. I don't care if you throw left-handed, right-handed, or underhanded. You throw down and away from a hitter, you got a chance to get him out.
Yeah, with a little something on it, which he can. That ball painted on the outside corner for the strike, and that's exactly what he was talking about. He would try and power the guys up inside, and they'd turn it around. Now it says, okay, I'm going to pitch away from their power. Tough to do anything with that baseball.
Bernard Span loops one into left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Pompey plays it on a hop, and Span has his first hit of the night. A little flare into left field.
We've seen a few of those tonight. The Rays, the pesky Ray hitters, have fought off a couple of pitches. Span's going to get a base hit on this one. Third time that he's been on tonight. Fields had a ball down the right field line. Echeverria has a soft liner into the outfield. Their at-bats have been better this season.
Wilson Ramos had an opposite field single into right field for an RBI in the fourth. Carlos Gomez. He waves at that breaking ball in the dirt. Good call by Melee to call for that first pitch breaking ball. Gomez, a very aggressive hitter. He's 0 for 3 so far. Gomez, in his first season with Tampa Bay, as a veteran, he called a meeting during their 8-game losing streak and said, hey, man, we've got to pull together, turn things around, and they did.
That's tough. You know, if you're the new guy, you want to establish yourself a little bit or get accustomed with the team and understand your teammates, but he took it upon himself to do that, what you're just talking about. They've played better since then.
He was an all-star for 2 years in Milwaukee with the Brewers. He won a Gold Glove in 2013, so he's got credentials. And when you see him from afar, he's very animated and he might rub you the wrong way, but people that play with him love him. He says, I might be hitting 180, but I walk in the clubhouse like I'm hitting 350.
That's that swagger that we were talking about the other day.
If you don't believe it, nobody else will. He's in his 12th season. You remember Gomez in the division series in 2016 while playing for Texas hit a comebacker that hit Liriano in the head. Francisco Liriano was pitching for the Blue Jays and he had a line drive that carried off Liriano's head. He has 6 career home runs against the Blue Jays, and it's an interesting cast of pitchers going back to Jesse Litch. And his first home run off Jesse Litch, Joe Carreño, R.A. Dickey, Liriano, Stroman, and Cesar Valdez. Those last 3 all coming last year.
Oh, he was running a little bit better move, and I think he hasn't picked off.
Veteran base stealers like Span don't expect pitchers to come over to first back-to-back, but you're right, he was headed for second.
Yeah, he was guessing that he was going home, but then realized right away that Mesa was coming back over there.
Hit into right and deep. Hernandez turns around, makes the catch. Span was nearly to second base. He has to hustle back to first. Gomez is 0 for 4.
Designated hitter, number 13, Brad Miller.
So Mesa now has another lefty bat. Brad Miller pinch hit for the DH Rob Refsnyder in the 7th inning. He was robbed of a base hit on a fine play by Gurriel in shallow right field. So Mesa has to be aggressive in this matchup and he can get out of the inning.
And he's looking for a first pitch fastball here, so keep it away from him.
Alex Colomé, the closer for the Rays, has had a bit of an up and down start to his season. He's loosening up, getting ready for the top of the 9th. Colomé is 5 for 7 in save opportunities, and he has given up 19 hits in 12 innings. League hitting .358 against Colomé. Another good pitch from Mesa, and he's ahead 1-2. Miller batting .227 on the season. He had a 30 home run season a couple of years ago.
Yeah, again, he's got power, and he's looking for fastballs out over the plate.
In 2016, Miller hit 30 home runs, but hit 243 at 29 doubles and 6 triples. He's not been able to capture that form since. 2-2. Hit in the air deep to center. Pilar is on the run. This ball is going to go. A home run for Brad Miller. A big home run for the Rays here in the bottom of the 8th inning. For Miller, his 3rd home run of the season.
He had success early in that at bat by just pumping fastballs by him. He wasn't catching up to him. And the minute he went to that slider, left it out over the plate, and you mentioned he's got some home run power to him. There's the slider. This helps you to catch that ball out in front. Wanted to get that ball away from it. It stayed over the middle of the plate, and the Rays get a couple of insurance runs.
Big home run for Miller, home run number 3 on the season. And that was a slider. He didn't get it away. Stayed in the middle of the plate.
And wanted that one off the plate, make him reach for it.
Johnny Field, the center fielder's had a good night. He's homered and doubled, scored a pair, and driven in a run. For Field, his 2nd double and his 2nd home run of the season. The Blue Jays bullpen has been very good all season long. Tonight they have given up 3 runs. Jake Petrichka in his first game with the Blue Jays, charged with a run on 3 hits over an inning and a 3rd. Tim Meza gives up the 2-out home run here in the 8th to Brad Miller. Denard Span had a little flare base hit with 1 out in this inning, and then Gomez flied out to right, and Miller got a hanging breaking ball from Meza. Leadoff man waits on deck, and then Echeverria. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Tampa Bay 6 runs on 9 hits. The Blue Jays 2 runs on 4 hits. The Jays have committed 1 error. The only error in the ball game was an error charged to the catcher, Luke Maley, on catcher's interference, with Rob Refsnyder at the plate in the 5th inning. We're going to drive. This ball is hit deep to left field, and Pompey's not going to make the catch. Up against the wall. Fields will stop at second base with his 3rd hit of the ball game, his 2nd double.
Another slider that stayed over the plate. Looked like he was trying to backdoor this one. And it's up. Johnny Field. Have a night. He flew out to right field. He's also homered and doubled twice. Pompey can't catch that one. And Meza, this inning started so nice for him by striking out Robertson.
While we have a moment, let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Third hit of the ball game for Jose Ramirez. His average up to 293. Bradley Zimmer hit a home run earlier in that game in the 8th inning off Chasen Shreve, lefty on lefty. And Danny Echeverria fouls back the first pitch.
That team looks like it's ready to take off the Indians, doesn't it?
Yeah, they scored 5 runs in the 8th inning to tie it. CC Sabathia left after 6, allowing just 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. Maybe he should have stayed.
Thanks for coming. No decision.
Sabathia threw 92 pitches in his outing over 6 innings. Betances had a good inning, and then Shreve didn't get anybody out. 4 runs on 3 hits and no outs. 1-1 to Echeverria. Strike 2. Meza has now thrown 28 pitches as this inning started out in a very promising fashion. He struck out Daniel Robertson, the first batter of the inning.
Got ahead of Span and then lost Tim on a bloop single. Got the second out very quickly. Now having trouble trying to finish off this inning. There you go.
He strikes out at Echeverria, a couple of strikeouts in the inning, but the Blue Jays give up 2 more runs in the 8th. Brad Miller came into the game as a pinch hitter, hits the home run, a 2-run shot to center. We go to the 9th, 6-2 Tampa Bay. Pacific Type R.
Blue Jays lead the major leagues in home runs, and we're going to show you another one. Aledmus Diaz just last inning, first pitch fastball out over the plate. He's got 19 hits this year, 9 of them for extra bases, including this, his 6th home run of the season. Right down the line, he got all of that. It's a nice drive of the game from Aledmus Diaz.
Diaz had never homered in back-to-back games in his career prior to this season, and he has homered in the last 2 games. It's the 3rd time this season he's homered in back-to-back games. So the Blue Jays got some ground to make up. They trail by 4, and they face the closer in a non-save situation for Alex Colomé, his 14th appearance of the season.
Yeah, that 2-run home run knocks it out of being a save situation. So Colomé has had his problems like you were talking about earlier. ERA inflated at 6. Led the majors with 47 saves last season.
And there is Solarte is 0 for 3. The Blue Jays have just 4 hits in the game. And ball on the strike, leadoff man here in the top of the 9th.
Colomé has 89 saves in his career. Good fastball. He is 2nd on this in this franchise in saves. Roberto Hernandez has the most saves ever with 101.
Colomé is now 29 years old. He's in his 6th season with Tampa Bay, his 3rd year as the closer. He signed originally in 2007 as an 18-year-old out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Good fastball. One away. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Jesse Anabanca.
Right fielder, Hernandez.
Thank you very much. That's all coming up right after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned. One away, Teoscar Hernandez. He is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Mentioned that Colomé is second in franchise history to Roberto Hernandez, who has 101 saves. Colomé passed Fernando Rodney on April 9th in a save situation in Chicago against the White Sox. Popped up, and it hits the catwalk high above the infield, and Duffy has it drop, and that ball's in play. It came down in fair territory. Duffy had it hit his glove, and the ball went up off that C ring way up high. Actually, that is the A ring, the highest of the 4 rings. It went way up on that catwalk and hit the catwalk, bounced around a bit, and by the time it came down, Duffy couldn't make a play on it at third.
Yeah, whatever it is, it was way, way up there. And if he makes that catch because he was in foul, he was not in foul territory, he was in fair territory, it would have been an out.
It's an air charge to the third baseman, and that's a tough error. Pop goes up, you're watching it in one spot, and then it bounces off the catwalk and ends up somewhere else.
Yeah, and then you're dealing with that white background also. He sees it, but he could have made that catch. Nobody sees it. There it is. You got it. Not so fast.
C.J. Cron, the first baseman, he wasn't sure where it was, but he saw it just before it started to come down. Kevin Pillar. Pillar is 0 for 3. His hit streak is on the line. He has hit in 9 straight. He extended the hit streak last night in game 2 in his final at bat in the 9th inning with a single to center. Ground ball to short. Echeverria has it, and Pillar's retired. That'll probably see his hit streak come to an end. Hernandez goes to third on the play.
First baseman, Henry Morales.
Blue Jays are down to their final out. Kendrys Morales, the first baseman. He's gone 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Morales is average now at 171.
Colomé was signed out of the Dominican Republic as a free agent about 11 years ago and started the long climb to the major leagues. He was a starter in the minor leagues. So he's got all 4 pitches if he needs it. But now, since he's gone into the closer's role, it's fastball, slider. And he's got good stuff. Got a good arm.
He's made 19 career starts in the major leagues. Last year, he hit a career high 65 games.
Batters hit .232 against him again, 47 saves. That followed up a season where he had 37 saves. That's one thing that the Rays have done really well over the last 10 years or so, is develop their own pitchers, get them to the big leagues, and succeed with them.
Yeah, they've done a great job of constructing bullpens over the years. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kendrys Morales trying to keep it alive here. Blue Jays trail 6-2. that's the ball game. Colomé strikes out a pair in the ninth, and the Blue Jays had an early lead, but Tampa Bay did a good job of hitting the ball to all parts of the field. Johnny Field, the center fielder, had a big game, 3 hits, a home run, and a pair of doubles.
It looked like it was going to be a good game for the Blue Jays. They jumped out to lead. They had their ace going, Jay Happ, so things were looking pretty good. But you're right. The pesky hitters of the Rays really worked over Jay Happ to the 2 to 4 walks. He will end up losing this game, the bullpen game for the Rays, if you will. 4 pitchers end up getting the win.
Ryan Yarbrough was the guy that really stabilized the game. 5 innings of 1 hit ball, no walk.